So you've contracted obesity, unlucky fatty, but not to worry, it's something that I have also made the mistake of contracting not once, not even 2 times, but on 3 separate occasions. Well, technically the third time it was intentional. The only one bulking, nobody bulked harder than me. Out of an infinite number of awesome versions of myself, I was the most obese. The only one not making a mistake for the third time. But the point remains the same. I am no longer plagued by obesity. Every single time I've gained the weight, I've also lost the weight to reveal a ridiculously impressive, dry, lean, and conditioned, statistically aesthetic physique. Speaking about statistics, if you're a nerd, I've actually gained and lost a total of over 150 kilograms. I've got the work experience, the know-how, and as one of the last natural specimens of the fitness industry, I feel obliged to help you. Because if you click this video, you are somebody that more than likely is trying to lose weight themselves, or maybe you just got enticed by my supple, bulbous breasts. Either way, you will both get what you're looking for here. So since you've already made the mistake of becoming a fatty, here are some other mistakes when you're trying to lose the weight you should avoid. If you want to know anything in life, Google is your best friend. Fitness information is extremely accessible. Heck, if you Google how to lose weight, you are actually greeted with a pretty good explanation provided to you by Google AI. In fact, I should just end the video here. If you follow the steps written by this Mr. AI, you would without a doubt lose weight. It's honestly a better explanation than 90% of fitness videos you could watch. Back in my day when I first started trying to lose weight, I googled how to get a six pack, and one of the first things that popped up was this absolutely succulent factory forged specimen, Mike Ying Chang Wang, owner of Six Pack Shortcuts. The name checks out and the physique checks out. And when I was a young fat kid trying to lose weight, I actually believed that if I did all these things that he said in the video, I would lose weight and look like this. But imagine my surprise when after months of training, like he says, I woke up and wasn't a buff yellow man. I was still just a fat little white kid.
Here are the criteria that you need to follow when it comes to working out. Number 1, make sure you work out anywhere from about 4 to about 5 days a week. Number 2, your workout should be anywhere from about 20 minutes to about 45 minutes long. Number 3, make sure that your rest times are only about 30 seconds between sets. This way you're actually doing work and not sitting around just...
In his whole video about how to lose belly fat, he does not mention being in a calorie deficit one single time. You could do everything Mao Zedong says in his video and see absolutely no fat loss, because at the end of the day you are not actually in a calorie deficit. In terms of weight loss, this should be your number one concern. It should be diet and how many calories you are eating and the quality of those calories to a lesser extent. So now that you've become enlightened about calories and realised it's essentially all that matters, you might also come to the conclusion that 13-year-old Mr. Jack Hancock also came to and make another mistake. That if you ate nothing at all, you would lose the most weight. And it would be correct, without a doubt. It's what I did, I ate nothing, but I could only manage that for maybe 2 weeks. My organs couldn't keep up with my willpower, so I started eating 1 meal a day, and within 6 weeks I went from obese to the other end of the spectrum. That puts me on at least 2 different spectrums. I ended up extremely underweight instead, but it's essentially just trading one eating disorder for another one, and eventually I just gained it all back. It's one of the worst ways to go about weight loss. You should be in a deficit of 500 to 1000 calories a week at most. If you're extremely obese, you could try and lose more weight, but for most people, this is a relatively healthy, sustainable amount of weight loss. Same thing goes with exercise. You might think that if you somehow burn 6000 calories per day through exercise, you could technically lose weight without having to control how much food you're eating. Whilst technically you could do that, I'm going to say that you, in particular, Jeffrey, John, Jacob, you cannot do that. You are not built like that. Notice how I left Jack out of there, because I could do that. It's extremely hard to consistently burn that amount of calories every day. It's stupid to even try. Just find some sort of exercise that you enjoy and implement it into your routine to burn a few extra calories. In terms of just weight loss, in the short term, cardio is the best option. For example, skipping is the one that I do, simply because when I was 16, I googled what cardio was the best and burned the most calories, and jump rope was one of the top results. But it's also one of the hardest to actually master and be good at. I've been rope maxing for a decade or so for me it's easy, but for most people there would be a skill issue. I would also not recommend skipping to people who are extremely heavy, as it is particularly hard on the joints. Something like walking on a treadmill at an incline would be way easier and burn a good amount of calories. For long-term weight loss, resistance training is king. It doesn't burn many calories whilst you're doing it, but in the long term, the muscle you build whilst lifting weights will help you burn calories AFK, while sleeping, while resting, while not even moving. Your body will just burn more calories according to how much of a succulent, muscle-bound specimen you manage to become, but it takes years to build enough muscle mass to burn just a few hundred calories a day. But most importantly, building muscle mass will make you look way better when you actually strip the body fat off. If you only ever did cardio and no resistance training at all, eventually you might have lost all the fat, but you won't necessarily have the physique that you want. Some people might not want to be an extremely aesthetic, Greek god-looking beautiful bastard like me, and that's fine. You couldn't even if you wanted to anyway. So just being a fitter, healthier version of yourself is good enough for me. Another mistake is not actually tracking what you are doing. It's not good enough to think that you are eating less and that you think you might be losing weight. You can lie to yourself all you want, maybe intentionally, maybe not, but there's two things that never lie, me and the scales. If you track how much you're actually eating and your weight on a weekly basis, you can actually see if what you're doing is working or not and adjust accordingly. Pretty simple. It lets you see what the problem is. If you're losing too much weight, just eat a few hundred calories more. If you're losing too little, eat a few hundred calories less. Without weighing or tracking what you are eating, you can't adjust. It's not good enough to think you are eating enough or think you are losing weight, you have to know. So that means that let's say you're cooking home meals, you track the oil that you put in your food, the condiments that you slap on. If you forget to track those, you could easily be eating a few hundred extra calories that you don't even know about. Or the nuts that you snack on during the day, or my nuts. To summarize, I'll refer to Mr. AI's flawless summary on how to lose weight. Reduce your calorie intake to 500 below your maintenance, add physical activity, eat a balanced healthy diet, and limit unhealthy food, and drink more water, eat fiber, and try to lose between half a pound to 2 pounds a week. But can we talk about how if I search how to lose weight fast, I get sponsored ads for weight loss injections or a hypno band? What even is that? Surely it can't be very ethical. But anyway, lastly, and maybe even the most important mistake, is trying to lose weight when you don't want to. You have to want it to happen for it to happen. Ultimately, it's all down to you, nobody else. Not your genetics, not your mum, not your father, not even me. It comes down to if you want to lose weight. And as The Rock said, it's about drive, it's about power. We stay hungry, we do not devour. It's easy to stay in the current situation that you're in, just to keep eating and maintain the status quo, but it is hard to change. You could have all the information that you need and the know-how, but if you don't want it, it's not going to happen. Pretty simple, really. And if you're unhealthy, fat, overweight, obese, and don't want to change and lose weight, you need to fix up and reevaluate what's important in your life. What is important, what's truly important, is having me in your life, and guess what, I'm back, from over a year away. And what will help me stay, unlike your dad, is slapping a like on this video and telling me what sort of content you would like to see in the future. I'm used to just doing reaction content, but I'm a changed man, and I want to make some actual videos. So drop a comment and I'll evaluate the top few with the other Council of Cocks and decide what I'm going to do going forward. I plan on posting at least one video a week, and at the moment I'm currently training glutes every day to become the only one that's double cheeked up, but I'm open to other ideas and I'll try anything once. I'm the only one coming.